Today's subject is the grueling aspect of being an actor. Hello, I'm Doug Fall, your Augmented Actor, helping you augment your acting career with tips, tactics, and tech. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and if you want to be notified of my new content, please hit that notification bell so that you will get a message whenever I post new content. You have to be able to handle rejection as an actor. I've done videos on this before. You can find a link up above or down below on both rejection and keeping your self-esteem intact. There's a lot of rejection, a lot of no's, and it's a tough business. So you have to be prepared for that. And it can get really hard sometimes. You have 3 or 4 theaters that you're able to work at in a city you live in, and lots of competition. You have to establish a name for yourself. You have to network and be around people and work with them before they'll start to trust you in these roles. Sometimes you just get lucky and get cast your first time out, or because you're enthusiastic, or because you're just right for a role. And the people that have like a really great talent, natural ability, and they work really hard at honing their craft and stuff have a leg up on most of the people that don't do that. But even those people aren't going to get every role they want, so you have to have a thick skin. You have to find ways to have other income, because if you're depending on your income as an actor, you're going to have lots of hills and valleys. It's a roller coaster ride, and you can never be at the top for very long. It's not like getting a job at a 9-to-5 place. There's very little stability in it. Even if you are one of the lucky few to get a television series, recurring role, or land a Broadway show, eventually that's going to come to an end. Series end, your character might get killed off. If it's a Broadway show, eventually it's going to close or you're going to leave. It's a project-based business, and you're going to constantly be changing things up. And so you need to have the stamina and fortitude to continually be finding new work for yourself as an actor. It's basically a freelancer's lifestyle. Now, you can be the kind of freelancer who has a business plan and has funding, and you have your marketing and your website, and you get people to work for you and help you out, and ultimately that's kind of what you want to grow into, is an established business where you are the product. But you can be as simple as just a freelancer who goes and auditions for shows and has a day job somewhere else, and that's your whole life. That's kind of the path that I've spent most of my acting career with, is just sort of letting it come to me. I'll audition for shows I'm interested in, but I don't have to be working as an actor all the time. I have many other interests outside of acting and many sources of income. And so that's one of the important things as an actor, is that you've got to find your level of dedication to the craft. And it will change throughout your life too. And sometimes you'll be in really busy periods where you just go from show to show to show. And other times you might be in a dry spell where no one is casting you. And you have to be able to adapt to both of those circumstances pretty well. Let's see what else. There's long hours. Tech rehearsals in theater are hell. Late night set shoots can be hellacious. You can be in the cold and miserable, or in the heat and miserable. When you're on film, you are actually in those environments you're in most of the time. And if you're not in those environments, then you're in some green screen studio reacting to nothing for hours and hours on end, and that can be exhausting too. The life of an actor is exhausting. It can drain you physically and emotionally. And every single theater production I've ever been in, there comes a time when somebody gets sick in the cast, and then everybody else gets sick in the cast, and the cold moves through the cast. So you have to be healthy as an actor. You have to wash your hands all the time. You have to be somebody that doesn't catch colds easily, because you can get barred from working places if people just think you're one of those people that's sick all the time, or that brings sickness into a rehearsal. But the funny thing is that it always seems to happen. It doesn't matter where you are. I always tend to get sick or catch a cold, and it's always when you need to use your voice, when you're auditioning all the time as an actor. That's another thing you're going to have to do as an actor, is audition and callback, and you got to do it whether you're sick or not. So just be prepared for grueling hours, schedules that change. Sometimes you're working early morning, sometimes you're working late at night, sometimes you're working during the day and you need to have a night job that helps you out, and sometimes you're working at nights and you need to have a day job that helps you out. It's constant juggling, again, schedules, time, wellness, all that stuff. There's a lot to it. You have to be prepared for that as an actor. You also gotta learn that acting is tough business for somebody in a relationship, especially if the person that you're with is not also in the business. If an actor meets another actor and they form a relationship, there's a lot of understanding. There can be jealousy issues if one actor is working and one actor isn't. So that is that kind of stuff to juggle. But the understanding that we know what the business is like, and we know that you've got to go make out with this person in this scene, and you've got to go travel to London to do this, and we're not going to see each other for 2 months because I'm doing a show in Fort Worth, or whatever the case may be. There's that aspect of it. So a lot of actors and performers I know tend to meet people in the business and form relationships within the business. But also the converse is that if you form a lot of relationships and you break up with somebody, you're going to have to work with those people again. And there's a lot of gossip that goes on in the theater and film business, and they're small worlds. So be prepared for that. If you're somebody who gets around from person to person to person, or has volatile relationships, you're going to get talked about a lot within that community. So the other kind of relationship, which is more similar to how my relationship is when one person is in theater or film, is an actor or a director or something, and then the other person is in a different kind of job altogether, a non-creative, or maybe in a different field like music or dance or something. But generally they might work at an office, or they might work at a bar or something like that. And how do you balance that kind of relationship as an actor? Constantly having changes to your schedule can tax your family, can tax your time you can spend with your kids, the time you can spend with your partner, your spouse. A lot of actors tend to be solo artists in that respect. It's sometimes a lot easier to be on your own as an actor because you have the freedom to travel, you have the freedom to leave, and you don't have to consider somebody else. So a lot of actors are single. Those that are in relationships, it's perfectly possible, but you got to make compromises. Sometimes you have to compromise your acting career in order to involve yourself in your relationship more, or involve yourself with your kids. And sometimes you have to make compromises in the relationship. You have to say, I'm doing a show, I can't participate, I can't go to the kids' recital or the ball game because I'm in rehearsal. So you got to be prepared for that as an actor. If family life is the thing that's most important to you, you have to craft your acting career around your family life and put your family life first. If acting is the most important thing for you, then you need to craft your relationships around your acting career. It's a lesson that people probably have to learn in all aspects of life. Relationships are complicated and don't always work the way you want them to. So just understand that acting tends to add a layer of complexity to any relationship outside of that person. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found some value in this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Leave a comment down below. Tell me about your experience. Click on one of the things surrounding you to see other videos that I've produced. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.